In 1900, a group of Greek sponge divers were caught in a storm near a small island called Antikythera. When the storm passed, they dove into the water looking for sponges. Instead, they found a shipwreck, an ancient Roman ship resting on the ocean floor, filled with bronze statues, glassware, and jewelry. They reported the discovery to the Greek government, and over the next year, archaeologists recovered hundreds of artifacts from the wreck. But one object stood out: a lump of corroded bronze, roughly the size of a shoebox, encrusted with 2,000 years of ocean sediment. At first, nobody paid much attention to it. Then it cracked open, and inside were gears. Dozens of precisely cut, interlocking bronze gears. Gears so small, so intricate, so mathematically precise, that engineers today struggle to explain how they were made. This object is called the Antikythera Mechanism, and it is the most sophisticated machine ever discovered from the ancient world. The shipwreck dates to approximately 70 to 60 BC. The mechanism itself is believed to have been built somewhere between 150 and 100 BC. That means this device is over 2,000 years old. For decades after its discovery, scientists argued about what it actually was. Some thought it was an astrolabe. Others thought it was a navigational instrument. Then, in the 1970s, a British science historian named Derek de Solla Price spent years studying it using X-ray technology. His conclusion shocked the academic world. The Antikythera Mechanism was a computer, not an electronic computer, but a mechanical one, a hand-cranked device capable of calculating and predicting astronomical events with extraordinary accuracy. Turn the handle forward, and the machine would show you the position of the sun and moon on any future date. Turn it backward, and it would show you the past. It tracked the lunar calendar, the solar calendar, the cycles of the planets visible to the naked eye. It could predict solar and lunar eclipses, not just whether they would happen, but when, and where on Earth they would be visible. It even accounted for the fact that the moon's orbit is not perfectly circular, a mathematical correction so advanced that astronomers didn't formally rediscover this concept until the 17th century. The mechanism contained at least 30 interlocking bronze gears. Some researchers believe the original device may have had over 70. The smallest gears had teeth just 1.5 millimeters wide. To put that in perspective, watchmaking, the craft of building tiny precision gears, wasn't developed in Europe until the 14th century. That is 1,400 years after the Antikythera Mechanism was built. Modern researchers used advanced CT scanning to study every layer of the device without dismantling it. What they found made the mystery even deeper. The mechanism had text inscribed on it. Thousands of characters, acting as a user manual, explaining what each dial and pointer represented. It had a dial that tracked the 4-year cycle of the ancient Olympic Games. It had a dial showing the 19-year Metonic cycle, the period after which the lunar and solar calendars realign, a cycle still used today in calculating the date of Easter. It modeled the movements of at least 5 planets: Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. And all of this was packed into a wooden box about the size of a large book that someone carried onto a ship sailing across the Mediterranean Sea. Here is the question that nobody has been able to answer. If the ancient Greeks could build this, why did they stop? Why did this technology disappear? We have no other devices like it from the ancient world. No similar machines have ever been found. No ancient texts describe the factory or workshop where it was made. It appears in history once, on a single shipwreck, and then vanishes. For 1,400 years, nothing remotely similar existed anywhere on Earth. Some historians argue that the device was the work of a single brilliant individual, possibly Archimedes himself, or someone from his school of thought in Syracuse. They suggest that when Rome conquered and destroyed the great centers of Greek learning, this kind of knowledge simply died with the people who carried it. Others argue something more unsettling, that the Antikythera Mechanism is not an isolated genius. that it is a surviving fragment of a much broader technological tradition, one that we have almost entirely lost. That somewhere in the ancient world, there were workshops, schools, and craftsmen capable of building machines we cannot fully explain, and that what we call the ancient world may have been far more sophisticated than our history books suggest. In 2021, a team of researchers at University College London built a working reconstruction of the full mechanism based on the CT scan data. It took a team of engineers, mathematicians, and historians working together for years to figure out how all the pieces fit. Their conclusion was that the original device was even more complex than previously believed. The front of the mechanism showed a stunning model of the cosmos, the sun, moon, and planets all moving in real time as you turned the handle. Not as simple dots, but as a physical, mechanical model of the solar system, built more than 2,000 years ago. Today, the original fragments of the Antikythera Mechanism are housed in the National Archaeological Museum in Athens. They sit in a glass case, corroded and broken, missing roughly 2/3 of their original parts. And yet, even in this damaged state, the device represents something that should not exist. A machine that was 1,400 years ahead of its time. A computer built before the fall of Rome. A window into a version of human history that is far stranger, far older, and far more sophisticated than anything we were taught in school. The ship that carried it sank in a storm over 2,000 years ago, and with it, almost certainly, went knowledge we are only beginning to recover. The question is not just how they built it. The question is, what else did they build that we haven't found yet?